bin auf dem Auto der SRGAW. So, liebe Freunde, ich habe euch eben versprochen Folgendes. Wenn wir eine bestimmte Anzahl von Likes generieren, was wir getan haben jetzt, verlose ich etwas. Und ich werde Folgendes verlosen. Ich verlose ein T-Shirt der SRGAW, AC Friends und meiner Wenigkeit. Da kommt auch noch was Lustiges von mir mit drauf. An den, der eine E-Mail schickt an folgende Adresse. Der schickt eine E-Mail an srgaw-gewinnspiel@web.de. Ich werde das gleich nochmal reinschreiben, auch in den Chat. Und dann könnt ihr quasi, schreibt mir einfach eine Mail. So, und dann pick ich mir da irgendwen raus. Und dann frage ich die Adresse ab und dann kriegt ihr ein Shirt in seiner Größe zugeschickt von mir und hat damit eine geile Erinnerung ans 24-Stunden-Rennen von AC Friends und der SRGAW. Damit mache ich jetzt erstmal auf jeden Fall eine kurze Pause, bin noch erstmal kurz raus. Der Kollege kann nicht weiter kommentieren, weil er keine Live-Bilder hat. Da werde ich jetzt aber mit dem Sven mal kurz sprechen, ob der ihm die zur Verfügung stellen kann und er dann vielleicht doch noch ein bisschen was dazu erzählen kann und ich kann mich dann wieder mit einklinken. Das klären wir jetzt ab. Ihr hört jetzt erstmal 2, 3, 4, 5 Minuten überhaupt nichts. Und dann werden wir euch hier mal sagen, wie es weitergeht. Wäre so mein Vorschlag.
Ja, kleine Werbeunterbrechung.
Kleine Werbeunterbrechung, die Bilder laufen natürlich weiter und dann hören wir uns gleich oder sehen uns gleich nochmal kurz wieder. Tschüss sage ich auf jeden Fall noch, aber für jetzt bin ich erstmal kurz weg und kläre das mit dem Kollegen mal ab, wie das weiterläuft. Bis gleich.
So, ich habe jetzt auch zumindest wieder verzögerte Live-Bilder über den YouTube-Stream. Seit das SRGAW-Team auf Platz 1, Bot Racing 3 Sekunden knapp dahinter. Bleibt weiterhin spannend. Stehen beide auf der GP-Strecke. Ab in eine Dunlop-Kurve. Jetzt auch ganz aktuelles Live-Bild und nicht nur YouTube-Stream. Wissen wir, wer zurzeit für Assetto fährt, ja. Zurzeit fährt für Assetto der Adrian Bernhard, der auch für die ACF-Liga die BOP fährt. Und auch, wenn ich mich richtig erinnere, das 12-Stunden-Bathurst-Rennen mit großem Vorsprung gewonnen hat. Ein Mann, der eigentlich ein Rennen für sich alleine fährt, doch aufgrund von technischen Problemen zurzeit auf P4 liegt mit zurzeit 2,30 auf den Vordermann. Arni Zockerlot schreibt es auch, Adrian Bernhard. how do you find that out? There's a driver internal spreadsheet where everything is listed who is currently driving and also the number of long stops. Yeah, they are correct. Both Arni Zokolot and Mika under Oberdörster. To put short what I just said in German, Adrian Bernhard, who is also the BOP, or Balance of Performance driver for the RCF League, who is carrying out the race, is currently in the seat for Team Assetto, number 344. Seated in, I think, Nissan, correct me? Let me check. Seated in a Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo from 2020. Sorry, I am English only scrub. Really should learn German. Ja, und das ist auch jetzt die Sprache, auf die ich wieder wechseln werde. Aktuell ganze 12 Zuschauer, die uns um 12:30 hier nachts zugucken, während ich ein bisschen das Kommentieren übernehme als eigentlicher Interviewgast, Fahrer für Eifelblitz Racing. Beziehungsweise Eifelblitz Perf Romance. Eine Anspielung auf Performance und die Romance beziehungsweise Anziehung zur magischen Eifel, die wir hier zu später Stunde sehen. Gerade nachts ein magischer Ort. Jetzt ist mein Live-Bild wieder weg, also werde ich jetzt wieder in den YouTube-Stream gucken. Indem wir What Racing zurzeit hinter SRGAW immer noch auf knapp 2 Sekunden haben, dicht gefolgt von Lütje auf Platz 3, der den Abstand auf Platz 2 stetig verringert. ART bzw. Assetto mit dem Fahrer Adrian Bernhard im Sitz mit scheinbaren Problemen, einem Pitstop, denn der Abstand auf den Podiumplatz Nummer 3 hat sich ein wenig vergrößert, um circa 1 Minute auf 3 Minuten und 10. Werfen wir mal einen Blick auf das restliche Feld. Ja, es bleibt weiterhin relativ knapp. Gerade jedoch bis auf einen Kampf zwischen Platz 23 und 22 eine relativ entspannte und ruhige Nacht. Zwischen dem GT4-Team von SRG und PRR. Doch bleiben wir weiterhin bei dem GT3-Kampf um Platz 1 auf dem Podium. Denn What Racing verringert den Abstand, hat einen großartigen Überschuss hier auf der hohen 8. Verringert den Abstand gleich auf 1 Sekunde, unter 1 Sekunde. Da werde ich mal näher an meinen Monitor rangehen, dass ich hier live die Zeiten sehe und wieder einen Blick auf den Chat werfen, in dem sich nichts getan hat. Wir sehen What Racing auf Höhe Pflanzgarten 1, unter 1 Sekunde Abstand hinter dem SRGAW-Team. Ins Stefan Bellow S. Weiter auf Pace, weiter den Abstand am Verringern. Dicht gefolgt von einem, ich erkenne es kaum, auch nicht an den Lichtern, einem Audi, würde ich mutmaßen, der Terror macht, mit einem leichten Quersteher. Lütje Racing kann es nicht sein, da werde ich mal einen Blick ins Live-Timing werfen. Während ich weiterhin gucke, ob es einen Überholvorgang gibt. Unter 2 Zehntel, 1 Zehntel auf der Döttinger Höhe und What Racing zieht vorbei an SRGAW und sichert sich damit vorerst den Platz 1 auf Podium Nummer 1. Beide ab in die Schikane nach der Döttinger Höhe. What Racing behält weiterhin die Führung vor SRGAW. Und beide machen sich auf in die Box, wie es aussieht. Wodurch Lütje Racing auf Platz 1 gelangen würde. Ich werfe mal wieder einen Blick in den Chat. Ich sehe leider nicht den SRGAW-Chat. Weiß nicht, ob es vielleicht ein Discord-Chat ist. Da werde ich gerade mal reingucken. Ja, ich sehe hier nichts auf dem Discord. Ja, sollte da doch jemand anderweitig informiert sein, kann man mich über den YouTube-Chat des SRGAW YouTube-Streams informieren. What Racing bleibt weiterhin auf P1. Und vergrößert den Abstand auf das SRGAW-Team. Das Lütje E-Sports-Team hier mit einem Fahrerwechsel. Auf, ich weiß es nicht, ob zurzeit Eskil Kloppert im Auto saß oder sitzen wird. Wodurch das Team Assetto, Lütje und What Racing Longstop bereinigt gleich auf wären. Auch nach der Box scheint What Racing weiterhin den Abstand vergrößern zu können auf der GP-Strecke. Und der Abstand läuft sich zurzeit auf circa 1 Sekunde. Lütje Racing auf Platz 3 scheint sehr lange für ihren Fahrerwechsel zu brauchen. Scheinen mir schon über 2 Minuten zu sein, jedoch ist das Team Assetto Racing mit dem Fahrer Adrian Bernhard weiterhin 3 Minuten im Rückstand auf Position Nummer 3. Ja, aktuell 13 Zuschauer. Ich hoffe, ich lag mich relativ gut hier als zeitweilige Vertretung für den Stopp Marco. Ja, im Twitch-Chat scheint auch nichts los zu sein bei AC Friends. Eifelblitz Racing, mein Team, weiterhin mit Leander Janczyk und knappen 5 Minuten Rückstand auf Position Nummer 24. Ja, eine 4 ereignislose Nacht. Bis auf das sehr knappe Duell von What Racing und dem Team von SRGAW. Im Sitz für SRGAW zurzeit der Max Ulrich im BMW M4 GT3 von 2022, dicht gefolgt von beziehungsweise der BMW dicht am Verfolgen, den Audi R8 von What Racing, den LMS Evo 2 von 2022, der auch letztes Jahr das 24-Stunden-Rennen in der echten Eifel gewann. Ja, vielleicht irgendwelche Fragen aus dem Chat. Ich werde mich nochmal hier ein bisschen durchklicken und gucken, ob ich hier Informationen, irgendwas finde. Doch, es bleibt relativ ja, wie vorhin schon gesagt, ereignislos. Lütje Motorsports jetzt, ja, ich vermute mal SG Kloppert jetzt im Sitz. Oder es wurde nicht geändert in den Daten, die mir zugänglich sind. Ich gehe nochmal die Gesamtwertung durch. Und zwar haben wir das Team What Racing im Audi A8 auf Platz 1 weiterhin. Dicht gefolgt von SRGAW auf Position Nummer 2. Auf Platz Nummer 3 das Team Assetto. Das Assetto Racing Team, der den Abstand auf Platz Nummer 3 ein wenig verringern kann, beziehungsweise, nee, es gab sogar einen Überholvorgang von Assetto Racing, der Lütje Racing überholt hat. Da habe ich kurz nicht aufgepasst. Dazu war mich hier in den Tabellen am Durchklicken, wer denn jetzt wo sitzt und gerade auch welche Autos sich auf der Strecke befinden. Damit hätten wir die GT3s zumindest schon mal durch. Im Cup 1 haben wir das ACRT Sim Racing Team mit Giacomo Redi auf Position Nummer 1, gefolgt von dem sehr umfragten K. Kremer E-Sports Team mit Titus Konrad zurzeit im Porsche 992. Und auf Platz 3 das Team FCT Esports mit Ellen Lacquemin. Nun zu den GT2s. Dort haben wir Sim Racing United mit Dominik Pieper auf Position Nummer 1 in der GT2-Wertung. Und Raccoons Racing mit Daniel Williamson im Porsche 911er GT2 auf Platz 2, gefolgt von Lütje Motorsports mit Benjamin Arndt im KTM Expo auf Platz Nummer 3. Nun zu den GT4s mit Pirate Racing, welche zwei Teams stellen. Beide im Porsche Cayman GT4 mit entweder Zoran Jonic oder Matej Miksic. Tut mir leid. im Sitz, gefolgt von dem GT4-Team von SRGRW mit Marc Weinand im Toyota Supra. Der ja interessanterweise im vorhergehenden sogenannten Real-Life-Rennen mit E-Fuels gefahren ist, also regenerativen Kraftstoff, der biologisch, meine ich, erzeugt wird. Ich bin da nicht so ganz in der Materie. Interessant ist jedoch, dass die abseits von der normalen Boxengasse tanken waren und dementsprechend auch ihre Boxeneinfahrt ein wenig anders hatten. Nun zu Platz 3 in der GT4-Wertung mit Tradition Simsport im AMG GT4. Nun zu den TCR. Bei denen zurzeit, so wie ich das sehe, ich gucke nochmal ins Live-Timing. Wir haben 4 TCR-Autos noch im Rennen, führend zurzeit der Hyundai i30N von dem Simrace Lativia Racing Team mit Carlis Skirmanis auf Platz 1 in der Wertung der TCRs, gefolgt von dem Golf GTI. Jedoch bin ich mir nicht sicher, ob es der MK7 oder der TCR ist. Der GTI befindet sich zurzeit auf Platz 2, pardon, bei den TCRs mit Daniel Rusnacik am Steuer. Bei den Cup 2s zurzeit Rennwerk Racing mit Dennis Stramm am Steuer. Dennis Schramm, nicht Stramm. Auf Platz Nummer 1, gefolgt von AM Design mit Morten Angstmann am Steuer. So, tut mir leid, wenn das jetzt alles ein bisschen stockend und alles Mögliche war. Ich musste mich hier gerade durch eine Menge Tabellen klicken, um mal auch ein paar Fahrernamen und Autos nennen zu können. Ich bekomme hier gerade noch eine Information rein bezüglich des Gewinnspiels von SRGAW. Zwar kann ich nochmal die E-Mail-Adresse wiederholen, an die ihr hinschreiben könnt. Und zwar ist das srgaw-gewinnspiel@web.de. Ich schreibe es auch nochmal für unsere YouTube-Stream-Zuschauer in den Chat. Zu gewinnen gab es, wenn ich mich richtig erinnere, ein T-Shirt. Ja, ein T-Shirt müsste es gewesen sein. Auch im Feld scheint sich weiterhin nicht großartig was getan zu haben. Weiterhin das Team What E-Racing auf Position Nummer 1 der Gesamtwertung, gefolgt von SRGAW mit einem Abstand von mittlerweile knapp 5 Sekunden. Ab in die Mutkurve, SRGAW überholt einen TCR auf der Außenbahn durch die Mutkurve, wodurch der Abstand ein wenig vergrößert wird auf knappe 8,5 Sekunden. Ja, da wurde auch nochmal die E-Mail-Adresse reingeschrieben. Für das Gewinnspiel. Wir haben einen Fahrerwechsel in der Cup-Klasse, und zwar wechselt Leander Janschik für das Team Eifelblitz Racing aus dem Cup Porsche 992 GT3. Raus geht er für den Fahrer Yannick Christoph, der das Rennen nun durch die Nacht fortführen wird für unser Team. Auch ich kann mich mental wahrscheinlich schon auf den nächsten Stint vorbereiten, den entweder ich oder mein Teamkollege Dion Dombrowski fahren wird. Fahrerwechsel scheint für das Team Eifelblitz Racing geklappt zu haben. Denn raus aus der Boxengasse geht es auf weitere Verfolgungsjagd Richtung raus aus dem GT4-Feld, Richtung GT2-Feld. Auch haben wir einen Überholvorgang innerhalb des Cup 1 Feldes. Und zwar wurde der heißgeliebte K. Kremer eSports überholt vom FCT eSports Team mit Ellen Lerquemin am Steuer, wodurch Kurt K. Krämer mit dem Fahrer Erik Nied eine Position zurückfällt. Doch es bleibt weiterhin spannend, denn der Abstand beträgt nur eine Sekunde. Doch die Kamera bleibt weiterhin beim SRG-AW. Teamfahrer im BMW M4, der Teamkollege Max Röhrig, der weiterhin seine Runden dreht und den Abstand auf Platz 1 ein wenig vergrößert. Mittlerweile beträgt der Abstand knapp über 10,5 Sekunden. Ja, es bleibt weiterhin ruhig. Die Teamboxen sind jedoch rege gefüllt, wenn ich hier durch die Reihen gucke auf dem ACF Discord-Server. Der vorherige Kommentator Marco Hagen in einer Besprechung mit Stream-Hoster Sven. Zurzeit fährt nämlich Max Röhrig den BMW M4 GT3, den wir hier durch die Nacht huschen sehen. Abstand ein wenig kleiner werdend auf den Vordermann. Nikola Lautenschlager. Tut mir leid, wenn ich es falsch aussprechen sollte. Der sich zurzeit auf Platz Nummer 1 befindet. Ja, aktuell 9 Zuschauer, die in der Nacht dem Stream weiterhin noch lauschen. Das Team von K. Krämer dicht hinter Position Nummer 12, die ihn zuvor überholt hatte. Auch dort bleibt es weiterhin spannend. Oh. Und es gab den Positionswechsel. Ich habe hier 2 Bildschirme offen und habe nur den zeitverzögerten Positionswechsel gesehen von K. Kremer auf Platz Nummer 12. Gesamtwertung Platz Nummer 3 unter den Cup 1. 10 Sekunden hinter Platz Nummer 2 für die Cup 1 Fahrer. Ja. Ich gucke weiterhin durchs Feld und sehe zurzeit keine knappen Duelle, die stattfinden und hier hörspielartig für unsere Zuschauer kommentiert werden. Karl Kremer scheint sich absetzen zu können von dem FFR. Falsche Wertung, Entschuldigung, vom FCT E-Sports Team. Von dem setzt er sich weiter ab und nimmt Verfolgung auf Nummer 2 E-Sports Koblenz mit Fabian Czoholka am Steuer. Scheint auch den Abstand ungefähr gleichbleibend halten zu können auf den Hintermann. Ja, auch Smiller Esports schreibt es nochmal. Einfach eine E-Mail mit dem Favoritenteam an die E-Mail srgaw-gewinnspiel@web.de, um ein T-Shirt zu gewinnen. Welches dann unter allen Einsendungen verlost wird. Das Feld scheint sich nun einigermaßen beruhigt zu haben und wir scheinen keinen Abstand unter 2 Sekunden innerhalb des Feldes zu haben. Jedoch rutscht das Team von K. Kremer auf Position Nummer 2 durch einen Boxenstopp von eSports Koblenz, welche nun einen Fahrerwechsel vollführen werden. Fabian Czoholka geht raus und wird Platz machen für den nächsten Fahrer. Auch der Toyota Supra von SRGAW aus der GT4-Klasse vollführt einen Boxenstopp sowie Fahrerwechsel. Zuletzt oder zurzeit sitzt Marc Weinand am Steuer. Ich weiß es leider nicht. Ich würde jedoch vermuten, dass einer der Kommentatoren sich nun in den Fahrersitz schwingt. Ich werde mal einen Blick in den Fahrer-Discord werfen. Ja, es bleibt weiterhin unklar, wer sich nun im Fahrersitz des SRGAW Toyota Supras befinden wird. Jedoch scheint der Fahrerwechsel geklappt zu haben, denn der Toyota Supra bereitet sich vor und setzt den Rest seines Longstops ab und wird sich wieder auf die Strecke begeben. Ich werfe mal wieder einen Blick in den YouTube-Chat, der weiterhin ein wenig am Schlafen ist, wie es sich auch gehört. Wir haben es 1 Uhr. 10 Stunden beziehungsweise knappe 10 Stunden des Rennens sind bereits gefahren worden. In der Cup 1 Klasse scheint es eventuelle Probleme beim Fahrerwechsel für eSports Koblenz zu geben, welche weiterhin in der Boxengasse stehen. Und wir haben ein Update bezüglich des Toyota Supras GT4s, der Simracing-Gruppe Ahrweiler des SRG-AW-Teams, wie ich es auch gerne nenne. Und zwar befindet sich André Ziob jetzt am Steuer und wird nun den wundervollen grünen Toyota Supra durch die Nacht schicken. Befindet sich zurzeit in der Gesamtwertung der GT4s auf Position Nummer 2 mit knappen 10 Sekunden auf den Vordermann. Mit der Möglichkeit auch eventuell abzuholen. Der Fahrerwechsel innerhalb der Cup 1 Klasse für eSports Koblenz scheint auch mittlerweile geklappt zu haben. Jedoch bleibt weiterhin unklar, wer für das Team nun hinter dem Steuer sitzt. Entweder ist es Fabian Czoholka, der nun den Porsche 992 GT3 über die Strecke bewegen wird, beziehungsweise die Cup-Version des Porsche GT3s. Das Team BEG eSports verführt gerade eine kleine Pause in der Boxengasse. Und sollte jetzt nichts dagegen sprechen, werde ich auch erstmal das Kommentieren des SRGRW-Streams unterbrechen und mich anfangen, mental auf meinen Stint vorzubereiten, mit meinem Teamkollegen zu sprechen, wie sich das Auto verhält, wie es läuft. Denn Teamkollege Janik Christoph, der zurzeit auf Position Nummer 27 den Cup Porsche bewegt, der wird auch, denke ich mal, seinen Stint in absehbarer Zeit beenden. Ich gucke nochmal auf mein Handy, vielleicht hat sich ja da nochmal was getan bezüglich Teaminterner, wer den nächsten Stint fahren wird. Steht nichts, dementsprechend würde ich annehmen, dass ich den 13. und 14. Stint unseres Teams übernehmen werde. Anstelle von Teamfahrer Dion Borowski. Ja, aktuell 8 Zuschauer, seit der Stream neu gestartet wurde. Seit 40 Minuten sind wir live. Im Feld tut sich weiterhin nichts. Es gibt keine Positionswechsel und die Abstände betragen überall mindestens 10 Sekunden, beziehungsweise knappe 10 Sekunden, die das SLGRW GT3-Team zurückliegt hinter What E-Racing zurzeit auf Position Nummer 1 in der Gesamtwertung. Und auch sonst scheinen die Abstände teilweise auch mehrere Minuten zu betragen. Ja, ich denke mal, ich werde jetzt erstmal in die digitale Boxengasse meines Teams zurückkehren, mich in den digitalen Teamfunk einklinken und fragen, ob es irgendwelche Neuigkeiten gibt, außer einen Positionswechsel in der Cup 1 Klasse, den ich gerade noch gesehen habe. Von Bremer Racing auf Platz Nummer 2. Schätze ich, oder ich habe mich gerade verguckt. Ja, ich werde mich jetzt erstmal ausklinken, vielleicht noch später in der Nacht ein wenig kommentieren.
Oh.
Oh. Ich höre was.
Ja.
Und da ist auch
Kurz
wieder Marco.
dabei. Genau, aber der bleibt nicht mehr allzu lange, denn der muss morgen früh um 9 weiter kommentieren. Und ich glaube, ich habe es mir verdient nach gefühlten 3 Milliarden Stunden. Sprich, wir haben jetzt 1 Uhr, ich bin seit 3 dabei, sind Stunden 10, ne?
Ja, knapp 10 Stunden.
Habe ich diesen Stream begleitet und wollte jetzt mal kurz ein paar Worte auch an die Zuschauer richten, bevor es morgen früh um 9, halb 10 weitergeht. Vielen Dank, dass ihr alle Teil von unserem 24-Stunden-Rennen seid und da zugesehen habt. Das freut uns von AC Friends und auch von meiner Wenigkeit freut das sehr. Die SRGAW freut, dass sie das Ganze mit hier macht. Es wird jetzt in der Zeit, wo ich mich jetzt rausklinke und der Daniel wird wahrscheinlich auch gleich mal ins Bettchen hüpfen, wird es keinen Kommentar geben. Die Kamera wird wechseln im Automodus, so wie ich das richtig verstanden habe. Und morgen früh ab 9:30 Uhr, schaltet um 9:30 Uhr ein. Dann bin ich auf jeden Fall wieder am Start und werde mit euch die letzten Stunden des 24-Stunden-Rennens nochmal durchsehen. Wir werden einige Interviewgäste haben für verschiedene Rennstellen, von unter anderem dem Marc Weinand, der wird uns so ein paar Sachen erzählen, wie es die Nacht gelaufen ist. Der André Ziop wird uns erzählen, wie für die SAG die Nacht gelaufen ist. Und alle anderen Gäste können sich da gerne mit einklinken und Interviewanfrage schriftlich kurz und dann ziehen wir euch rein und dann machen wir mit euch das Interview, beziehungsweise ihr erzählt uns eure Sicht des Rennens. Wir würden uns also an die ganzen Zuschauer, das sind glaube ich knapp jetzt mittlerweile, ich habe den Überblick verloren. Wir hatten in der Spitze zwischen 150 200 Zuschauern, da mag manch einer drüber lachen. Für uns als Community, SRGAW, AC Friends ist das eine super geile Zahl. Da möchte ich nochmal auf das Gewinnspiel hinweisen. Die E-Mail-Adresse habe ich unten gepostet. Ihr schreibt einfach eine E-Mail mit eurem Lieblingsteam an diese E-Mail-Adresse. Und morgen Abend, wenn ich zu Hause sitze mit einem kühlen Red Bull, werde ich irgendwen willkürlich aus dieser Liste auslosen. Und dann werden wir das T-Shirt verschicken in passender Größe sogar. Abhören noch. Ist klar, ohne Moderator, ohne unseren technischen Berater, hier in dem Fall der Daniel Wert, ohne den Experten. Ist da zwar nicht so actionreich, aber ihr könnt euch die Rennaction ja auch geben ohne Kommentator. Das ist ein geiler Stream, das ist ein geiles Bild, das ist ein geiles Team, das ist eine geile Community. Das macht mega Spaß, auch ohne Kommentatoren. Aber ich hoffe, ihr habt Verständnis, dass ich als alter Mann nicht 24 Stunden durchkommentieren kann, auch wenn ich es gerne wollen würde. Jetzt machen wir das ganz normal auf gebrochenem Englisch. Dear crowd, we'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And between this time and now, we have no commentator, and that's the reason why you will not hear our voices. We'll hope that you switch to sRGAW and AC Friends stream tomorrow, 9 o'clock, 9:30. We are back and we will enjoy if you come back to us. We wish you all a good night, and I think we had a lot of fun in this stream. So I go to bed, and then we hear us tomorrow at 9 o'clock in this place, in this stream, and watch together the last hours of the 24 hours Nürburgring race of AC Discord, leck mir am Arsch. AC Friends, AC Friends Community and sRGAW. Good night. I'm out.
Good night.
Gute Nacht und dann dir danke und bis morgen.
Ja, bis morgen und gute Nacht.
Kannst gerne auch dann rausklicken, wenn du gleich möchtest. Ansonsten würden wir uns natürlich auch freuen, wenn du noch ein bisschen dabei bleibst.
Ja, ich kann ja gerade auch noch mal ein paar Worte an die Zuschauer richten. Nämlich hat der sRGAW YouTube-Kanal ganze, jetzt muss ich selber nachdenken, 12 YouTube-Abonnenten dazu gewonnen. Dafür einmal einen kleinen Applaus. Von 75 auf 87.
Wir hatten
Innerhalb von 10
61.
Stunden. 61 sogar ganz am Anfang
Ja.
des Rennens. Ich habe es ja nur zwischendurch gesehen. Also großes Lob an alle Zuschauer, an alle Beteiligten, an alle Kommentatoren, die bis jetzt kommentiert haben und Interviewgäste, die dabei waren, alle Fahrer. Ja, wir klinken uns jetzt aus. Gute Nacht.
Wir klinken
Gute
uns
Nacht.
aus. Gute Nacht. Geil, dass ihr dabei wart. Bis morgen.
Jack, can you hear me? Oh, off track. Unbelievable. I'm talking, but it's not. Okay, there it goes. I heard that. That time? Alright. Well, good morning, everybody. Or good evening, depending on where you're currently located. Some of you may have heard my voice earlier from the attempted English cast, though we had some technical difficulties. However, all of the German commentators are away, so at least for now, I will happily take some reins over for hopefully at least a couple hours to get us some nighttime commentary going. Got a little battle going on here between the two TCR cars here, it looks like. A few seconds back, see if this GTI might be able to bring it back. Argentina, okay. So I'm glad we got a lot of people watching to see that. Good evening to you as well. I hope that everything sounds good from my end. I hope I'm not too quiet or loud. If anyone's got anything, go ahead and send me, say something in the chat, and I'll try and make an adjustment for that. Looks like our Watt Racing team is currently in the pits for a driver swap, as we saw up there. I believe Sasha is going to be getting in the car, so let's go ahead and wish him luck. I believe he said he's doing a double stint before he himself is going to retire, at least for the time being, get some sleep. Probably well-deserved, all the work setting this up and getting this going. Got to thank him and everybody else for being able to enjoy some wonderful racing right now. We're going to take a look at the car in front as he's getting signaled for the pass by the Porsche GT4. Or sorry, GT2 actually. Makes quick work of him though. Obviously into the late hours, I remember when I started, I saw the Artito, I believe was their name, racing, were at the top. Seems like they've fallen down a little bit since the racing has started, but given they still hold the best lap time, I have faith that they may bring themselves back up coming through. Seems like that gap's opened up between these two Cup cars. I was really hoping we might get them to close out, but the gap seems to be ever increasing between these two cars. Really a test of ability, this race. There's definitely a lot of hard work to running this track for so many hours. but even in these grids, you end up stuck with the ever so running gaps. Hopefully some pitch strategies will bring. As you can see, the leaders have closed in with the pits. SRG now holding the lead with a 20-second interval. We take a look at the BMW running. Go ahead and watch and see how things are going for our leaders here. A little POV perspective from the drivers. Okay, the timing stuff updated. Now puts the Porsche in second place. I'm not exactly sure the team name. I don't want to Lutje. I apologize if I butcher your pronunciations. It looks like it's German in some way, so I'm probably messing that up. But I'm an American, so I'm definitely not going to get those perfectly. I do apologize. Feel free to laugh at me though, if you'd like. As we get a nice view of the BMW here running through this long stretch. You can see the in-game time is 1:12. We've crossed over the halfway mark. Driver's been running for 12 hours already. Still looks like at least 39 cars on their grid. So definitely still most of the people in the race involved. At the live timings, I only see maybe a couple people that are not running. So that's really good to see that everyone is still running in the race, regardless of the starting events. Obviously, long-term endurance, anything can happen, as we can see with the GT3 grid. Start of the race was definitely very much so in the favor of our current fourth place car, which we'll go ahead and take a pop over at him and see how they're doing as they get around what looks like an AMG GT4, dealing with that lap traffic. These guys, Tito Racing, were on pole position at the start of the race. They were, I believe, about 5 or so seconds faster than the next fastest car. So they're definitely going to be churning out the laps. They're still holding the fastest lap on the server. You can see an 8:09.27. I don't think any other of the GT3 class cars have yet to break into that threshold. So very much so a important factor when we're looking at the positions here. They may be in fourth place, but as you can see, they are closing actually the gap to third place. Watt Racing, 7.2 seconds. We'll see what the lap times look like at the end of this lap and get an idea of who's running quicker right now. Pop up over to the Watt Racing Audi R8 Evo 2. All these lights making the cars look very pretty, as well as visible. It's important to have high visibility on the Nordschleife. I'd say it's probably one of, if not the darkest track to run a 24-hour on, especially with the endurance layout having pretty much no track lighting. Makes it very difficult to see all around. And you must take care and know all these corners, regardless of the amount of vision you have, before you can try to tackle this course at night. Nonetheless, the gap has definitely been closing, as you can see, down to 5.3 seconds with the Mercedes behind. It's hunting the Watt Racing Audi down. Question to ask, will the Audi be able to defend, or will it concede the position? The Audi gets loose, goes a little off track there, actually. That's not going to bode well for their distance, as the distance has just been rapidly closing with this Mercedes. It is just hunting it down. Obviously, the last year for Audi, particularly in real life racing for the GT3 program, obviously the great thing about a simulator, you can have the choice of running cars that don't exist, much like the Ferrari 488 GTE, if it's still running around the track. That was a fictional car, though it'd certainly be interesting if the 488 GT4 were run by Ferrari in real life. I believe the Nissan 370Z GT4 would also be classified in that category as well. As we can see, the gap is just closing as that Mercedes, you can now see in the background of the Audi R8 Evo 2 of Watt Racing. It's going to be a hard push, and lap traffic starting to come up, which will more than likely slow down the Audi. But it also may slow down, although coming through the Dunninger-Ho, it will make that lap traffic a pretty big non-factor, most likely for both cars. Audi makes it around cleanly. It looks like the Mercedes will also make it around the 240i Cup car there. Almost made things interesting. Oh, the Mercedes drifts off a little bit, touches the grass, but he brings himself back. As they cross into the final turns before the Grand Prix straight. So the chicane. And now they are nearly bumper to bumper, so we'll finally get some good action here, it looks like. We'll see if the Mercedes makes short work or not. As they close out, you can see the difference in the lap times. This may have been Watt's outlap here, so we'll go ahead and get a first-person perspective from the Mercedes right now as they are chasing down the Audi. The Audi goes on the track there. Hopefully no cuts there, no penalties from those cuts. If you aren't already aware, 4 cuts on the track will result in a stop-and-go penalty, which would definitely hinder your progress, so you definitely want to keep the tires as much on the track as possible. As the gaps are closing, though, the Mercedes is now just right on the back door of the Audi. It's going to be sending some heavy pressure that way to the Michael Schumacher S. We'll see how long the Mercedes will hang back before it tries to make a move. Or if the Watt Racing Audi will simply concede the position here and now in order to keep their own race going. And there's the Audi making the move right by the lap car. Definitely a slightly risky endeavor, as the Audi definitely nearly crossed lines there with the Mercedes. But the Mercedes does finally get the inside groove and cuts through and gets around the Audi. Now the next challenge is going to be getting on that Super GT4 while also maintaining the position. little bit of aggressive driving, maybe, perhaps, from the Mercedes as it gets right up to the bumper of the Supra before it gets around there. Obviously, middle of a battle, a terrible place for that GT4 car to be. Probably has no idea what's going on for a second before it has to get out the way. But throughout the turns, unfortunately, the Audi cannot find a way around this GT4 Supra, and the Assetto Racing AMG now builds its gap to the car behind. Interestingly enough, not a battle, but I can see that the GT2 and GT3 cars here are neck and neck right now in terms of overall position. We managed to see it actually pass the Huracan. Definitely, interestingly enough, some of the GT2 cars were a little bit faster than some of the GT3s in qualifying. See a wide range of skill levels being on the track, meaning a few cars may or may not have the opportunity to take away some overall spots from faster class drivers. Obviously, a couple cars being stuck all the way in the back after incidents during the start or middle of the race. If I recall, the 332 Audi right here had an incident at the start of the race that I got to see during the German commentary. They spun out around the chicane early on in the race. He had some disconnection issues as well, if I recalled, but they're still here. They've been making up a lot of lost ground. I remember when I last saw them on track, they were behind just about everybody that was racing. Now they are nearly within the majority of their class as they're working their way around the cup cars right now. Looks like they got a few minutes before they see the next one, but hopefully they will be running a clean race the rest of the way. We'll go ahead and pop back to our Mercedes battle that we were witnessing. The gap's now opened up to 5 seconds for the RT2 AMG GT3 from Watt Racing's Evo 2. Once these guys make it around the track fully, I hope we'll get a good idea of what the lap time differentials are. You can see at least the predicted already for the Mercedes is an 8:12, even with that lap traffic, so they definitely got the better end of that deal. Surely the Watt Racing will be quite a bit slower with a predicted lap time of 8:21. That Super GT4 really did do a number on them for that run. Noticing down here in the TCR category, perhaps this GTI will get run down by the car behind. This looks like a Honda Civic TCR. Actually, I think they did swap positions, maybe. I can't remember exactly who was in front originally. But there is a few seconds between these guys. See if that gap closes out, and perhaps we'll get some competitive racing. It seems that the Lamborghini has pit from earlier. Nothing too major going on right now. We're seeing if perhaps this TCR car will provide us a battle with the car in front of it, depending on how the lap times are going. The Honda Civic was doing a 9:05 last lap, whereas the Volkswagen was a 9:06, so perhaps they are a little faster. Though a slight off track there in the going to try and attempt that corner name out of fear of embarrassment, but the Honda Civic does pop off track. That'll definitely be, and it's actually a drive-through. They actually hit their fourth cut, so unfortunately, regardless of their pace, they now are required to perform a stop-and-go penalty, which they will likely do at the end of this lap. We'll see if they can make as much progress to catching the Golf in front before they lose a bunch of ground, but that is the risk of cutting the track. You do it too many times and you will certainly take a penalty for it. crossing nearly into the 12.5-hour mark. As most people seem to be around their 7th or 8th long stop, as you see in the bottom of the screen down there. If you aren't aware, 15 is the minimum required long stops. Long stops must be 3 minutes long, or if the drivers make any mistakes leaving pits during that time, they will not count the stop. As the Honda Civic goes off again, losing it right there. Another off track for them. It seems that maybe they have gone a little long on the tires or something, as they are all over the track right now. 20 is the fuel level. I don't know if that's a live number from my perspective, but if they are this low, you can see they're fighting to control the car right there, braking for that turn. Perhaps it is time for them to send it into pit lane. So again, you can see the understeer is pushing, they're turning, and even though the car almost has nothing left to give with those tires. Though it seems that in retrospect, either the Golf is being held up or something, because the gap has not been increasing between these two. Perhaps they both are in a must-pit situation here. Similar strategies, maybe. As again, they're off track. A little bit there. Heard that. I don't know if that was enough to warrant a penalty, but certainly not having a good lap this lap. Though it does not seem to matter, as the gap is still closing between these two vehicles. Down to 4.6 seconds now. As we look at the Golf GTI's interior perspective, another wonderful touring car brought in. Again, a huge thank you to all the people, even I don't know all the names off the top of my head, but a huge thank you to everyone who put in the work for these cars to make them as competitive and close together as they can. On the many cars, we'll go ahead and take a look at. We'll take a look at the second place Porsche 911 GT3, a phenomenal car to take a look at. So go ahead and kind of swipe the camera around, let you guys see all the details you get off of these cars, and all the hard work that gets put into making them do what they do. Whoa, the Porsche gets loose in this turn and makes collision. Oh, an unfortunate incident for the 992, as we just wanted to take a look at it, as he falls off track, but gets back on and seems to carry on without too much damage. An unfortunate moment for the Porsche, as the driver gets caught out on stream of all places, losing the car right as we tune into him as well. Very unfortunate situation for them. We're going to go ahead and head back over to these touring cars, as the gap is just consistently closing. We're down to 2 seconds between these two. You know, we definitely don't want to focus too hard on those GT3s, because some of the best battles can come from the bottom of the grid, as we hopefully will be able to see. Though we do need to bear in mind that the car behind has to make a stop and go one of these. I believe the next 3 laps they will need to make a stop and go penalty. Announcer jinxes 2 cars in a row. Maybe I am the caster curse. I just wanted to look at the 992, as it's a very pretty car. At the moment we seem to get their camera, they seem to make a mistake. I do apologize if I gave those cars the caster curse. It certainly wasn't my intention. But it is a fact of racing that mistakes can happen, and thankfully they have 11.5 hours to make up that time, or for any other potential incidents to happen, as the Honda Civic is getting right up close. Should be within a bit of a draft distance. Should be able to get a little bit of pull up to the bumper on the Donninger Ho. So they should be pretty neck and neck coming into the chicane for the Grand Prix straight. Now, connection issue. I may need to recycle own connection really quick. Do apologize. I think I should be back in control. I do apologize for that, though it seems we may have had a server issue as I no longer have a connection to the server. I hope that everything is okay. I'm not sure if the drivers are having any issues or not. It seems that they're still racing, but I seem to have lost connection to the server on the spectator POV. I do apologize for that. I'm not sure what the best course of action is here. If they want to throw up, we can throw up the pause really quick. Yeah, perfect. And then we shall get that resumed in a second. I do apologize for the little technical hiccup here. We'll be back in just a second. Yeah, we are working on reconnecting right now. I do apologize for that. There's a bit of a delay on the stream. At least I see the chat now. We're working on fixing the connection issue right now. We should be back up and running in hopefully a couple minutes. Once again, I do apologize for the little hiccup in coverage. But we shall be resuming shortly. Alrighty, and we are back. I'm going to let whomever is currently controlling finish their thing, and then I will resume control. I do appreciate whoever was fixing the quick problem. Not sure who I'm looking at right now, but thank you. Issue. Hopefully we'll get a leaderboard here soon. May need to wait a second for leaderboards, but we do have a race to spectate. Around the event. But if you are active in chat, how's your night going? Are you enjoying the virtual race? I hope you guys also were able to watch the official one last week that happened. Hoping here we'll get a power back as we get a drive-through penalty from one of the GT4 cars. Another off track. We don't have a leaderboard right now. Perhaps if we get some laps in, it'll make the cars appear. A triple stint. I see someone on the chat did a triple stint. I'm assuming is that 3 hours, or I don't know how long your stint lengths are, but I hope that you're making sure you're getting adequate hydration and whatnot. Driving, it's important to be as focused as possible running the track. But yes, the traffic and everything is what makes these sort of endurance races worthwhile. The chaos of the traffic itself is what part of what makes the racing so much fun. You may not be racing in your class, but you're definitely contesting for just space on the track, and there's always events going on with these kinds of races. That's why they're so much fun. I was fortunate enough to do the Daytona 24-hour in January with AC friends, and being in the Prototype 2 class, it was definitely a lot of navigating through cars, both getting passed by the Daytona hybrids every now and then, as well as having to navigate through GT3s and GT2 cars left and right. GT3s, the LMP3s, I'm sorry, all the classes in IMSA that are running, which, funny enough, they will be getting rid of LMP3 from what it sounds like, due to the grid size already, which I think is the right call for them. It's a lot of cars, not enough pit boxes on most tracks. Fortunately, the Nordschleife is not a track with such problems. It's a very large circuit. Plenty of room for 100 cars to roll around, if necessary. Although I think servers would certainly have a blast trying to run over 100 cars in a field in a video game simulation. I think that would be a lot of effort to get a server capable of running that in any way. I do apologize, as I don't have a full leaderboard. I'm trying to use the live timings here to get some idea of the gaps, if there's any potential competitions happening. The third place Artito Racing is seemingly closing the gap on second place. Look at the leaders here for a second, and they did manage to catch them on the spectate run. SRGAW, I'm not sure if there is a pronunciation for that. They were part of the guys hosting the commentary earlier in German, so a big thank you to them for holding it down when they were. It's also great to see their name on a car in the race, as well as all the banners and all the other work that was put into the track as well. As you can see, the AC Friends banner with all kinds of cool information to help add to the effects. Another banner, custom work being done on every part of the track to give it a very realistic yet unique feel to AC Friends for everybody. The hard work is coming from every corner of the community, from the mods to the drivers to the tracks. It's a lot of work and a lot of effort to put together an event like this. As we get a nice look at this beautiful M4 GT3. It's a nice livery. I haven't really had a chance to go through each design and give my personal opinions on what's the best, but it's running well. Either way, regardless of the design. I believe we're going to do a quick little system reboot, so our stream may go down for a few minutes. Please give us a few minutes to get everything underway, and hopefully we'll be back shortly. I do apologize once again for the delay. All right, we are loading back in right now. Again, apologies for the small technical difficulties. Hopefully, when we get back, we'll have everything fully up and running. That way we can get the best possible spectating of the race. But people in the chat, who are you rooting for, or who are you driving for? Feel free to say who you're rooting for. You're more than welcome to root for more than one car. More than welcome to root for whomever you see fit. Well, the leaderboards were there, and then they disappeared. So the app is still there. Get out of control of Parsec here. Really quick. So we have our leaderboards. Hopefully we'll sort our issues. We have one person in the chat trying for Tradition Sims for a Mercedes GT4. Okay. I hope you guys' race has been going well. As well as it can be. Wildcard Lexus 303 is assuming Lexus, that's GT3, the RCF. It's a personal favorite car of mine. I do love the RCF GT3. It's a very fast car, and it's got a really cool engine in it with the 5.0 liter V8. It's got a ton of power behind it. So a little heavy. Vaster Stolovin's always a fun car to see in IMSA, their RCF GT3. Not enough of them run around in the GT3 category right now. It's unfortunate. Once again, still working out some little bugs, some squashing right now. I do apologize. Hopefully our coverage will be fully resumed shortly. Yes, the sound is always an enjoyable noise. Any loud V8 is a fantastic car to have screaming in your ears. That's for sure. Especially now that a lot of the cars in GT3 are moving to the 6 cylinders. It's getting a lot quieter on the track. Okay, so Tradition's fielding 2 cars, 2 different classes as well. He's running a cup car as well. That's always fun. These cup cars are some great racing. Always have some of the best racing when the cars are the same and the setups are so close together. Really is on the driver's skill at that point to put them on the track and get gaps in the lap times. Plus, if I'm correct, other than the fact that they're running on the Nordschleife, normally those cup cars have zero ABS, not ABC, don't have any ABS or traction control, so they're going to be tricky to drive around most tracks. Combining that with the mid-engine layout of a Porsche, it's going to be a tough car to throw around. Okay. Again, I don't know why it's disappearing like that, but it looks good. Okay, I think we may be coming back now. Believe we will be about back to coverage. We may have some problems with our leaderboards, but I will do my best to spectate what's available. I do know some other spectator controls, so we'll try and take advantage of those to get a good view of the cars where we can. As well as a little bit of observation. Currently, though, the gaps aren't screaming too much at me as I'm taking a look, though Artito Racing is, in fact, closing the gap on second place. The 992 Porsche 911 GT3R. Slowly but surely, the gap's being closed as the lap difference is certainly a significant number at the moment. I'll try and find them. I think we just found the Porsche right here. So we'll get a look at the 992 again. Hopefully we don't cast or curse them off track. I just wanted to get a look at this car, as the 992 is probably one of the prettiest GT3s to roll onto the track in quite some time. I'm seeing a lot of collision notices right now. It seems like a pretty noticeable incident happened somewhere. I'm trying to see if I can get a look at that. As clearly some incidents are happening on the track, but I'm having trouble. Good view of it right now. The 4 car seemed to have some incidents there, it looks like. Off track, as we are going to get a nice look at this Porsche. See how long it takes the car behind. Wrong way, I apologize. So here's the 3rd place car. They're actually in the pits right now as they've entered pit lane. Looks like they may be doing a long stop or a driver change right now. As the car will now have a gap built back up behind the Porsche. We'll see if they will close it down. They more than likely will, given the lap time differentials. So we're seeing about 8 minutes and 25 seconds, or the 8-minute 20 mark coming off of this 911 GT3 right here. But that AMG just is constantly below the 20s as they rocket ship their way around the track. They're definitely the fastest drivers right now, circling the track to see if anyone else will pick up the pace and bring the competition to them. The next fastest lap time currently is another AMG that is in, it looks like, 5th place. I don't want to mess up their name, so I'm just going to make sure I have a good look at that before I say their name. So Artec, I believe, are the other AMG GT3 running a route in 5th place. They are the next fastest lap on the track. It looks like it's an 8:13. Doesn't seem like anybody else has crossed beyond the 13 threshold, though a number of the cars have gotten close. The 2 front runners, the BMW as well as the 992, have had drivers capable of nearly crossing into the 13 threshold, with 8:14s being their best laps. But it seems that nobody is currently a match for the very fast AMG GT3 of Arsetto Racing. They're definitely going to be the ones to watch for the overall win tonight. I do hope to see some other people join in on the competition, if you will. So we'll go ahead and maybe take a look and see if we can find the Lexus RCF. Obviously, I don't have to hunt it down a little bit, but we'll go ahead and get a look at that since we had a talk. And here they are, 7th place. Oof. Getting a little loose on that exit into the straight as they are approaching on a TCR car that they're going to need to lap and get around safely. Hopefully they can manage that. And the RCF is flying away. Another fantastic GT3 car. He flashes his lights to try and make a knowledge. Again, the NGS Racing GT4 has a collision. Looks like they went off track a little bit there. A competitive race for a lot of people here. As the pay-to-win Lexus rushes down. Safely got around their touring car lap traffic. Another... It seems like they've got quite a bit of space on track before they have any risks to worry about. little bit of a interesting battle coming up here, potentially, as the Watt racing car is within some level of distance of the third place car after that pit stop. We'll see if maybe the fresh tires will cause a mistake, or if anything interesting will happen here. They're about 20 seconds apart right now. They are the closest to direct competitors at the moment, unfortunately. I don't have too many other options for any worthwhile class battles right now, as I'm trying to keep an eye on the live statistics. Of course, if anything interesting shows up, I will without a doubt try and switch to it. The 622. I apologize, I don't speak German, whoever just spoke in the chat, but I can see, I can hop over to the 622 and take a look at to see how they're doing. I do apologize, I don't have a full leaderboard right now, so I'm working with what I've got to hunt the cars down. See one of the BMW Cup cars, it looks like. It's difficult to siphon through all these cars, although I don't know if I'm finding the 622. Well, I think I've cycled through most of the cars on track, it looks like, and it seems that the 622 is elusive. I see a 222. A little bit of a, maybe not battle, but two cup cars next to each other here. It looks like 11th and 13th place overall. More than likely they won't be contesting for position. There's probably a lap between these two, but something of interest. At the very least, we get to watch. Almost worked. Our leaderboards show up and then disappeared, unfortunately. And I do apologize again, as the leaderboards are not getting along with me today. So it'll be a little difficult to spectate, as this 11th place car is going to probably have a little bit of a difficulty passing a fellow classmate, though hopefully the front car will yield when it best suits it. So obviously the rules of lap traffic are a bit of a two-way street, as you don't want to concede the lap necessarily, or if you're battling for a position and you're in a lower class, you don't want to immediately give the space, but at the same time, you don't want to slow up the faster drivers too much, as they could have a battle of their own happening. Though the flug plots straight seem to, or the straight before flug plots seem to take care of any concerns with that with the two Porsche cars. Hello, Ibsen907. See you wave in the chat. Welcome. I don't know if you've been watching or not, but hope you're enjoying the nighttime festivities, as we are just crossing into the 11 hours to go threshold now. 13 hours have passed. And it is now 2 a.m. on the server in-game, and I believe it would also be 2 a.m. for most of these people in Germany or Europe. It'll probably be around that hour. For those of us like myself in the United States, 9:03 p.m., so the night's just starting, but what matters most is the time in game, as 2 a.m. means we are slowly encroaching on the sunrise. I'm sure we'll get a really enjoyable experience watching the green hell light up and shine through some nice colorful lights from the sun and the sky. But for now, it does remain pitch black on the circuit, except for the lights and the roars of the engines that are circling through at the moment. Interestingly enough, two GT3 cars are in the pits right now, so we're going to go ahead and try and pop over to them. third and fourth place, as third place just exited the pits. Fourth place still has about 40 seconds left on their long stop, as it looks like they are in fact taking a long stop right now. The third place GT3 exits the pits cleanly and smoothly, and we're currently waiting for fourth place to finish their pit stop. Given the timer in the pit lane, they're more than likely going for one of their long stops, so they have a few minutes. As I see the 222 has a slight collision on the live timing. A little bit of an incident for them. I hope they're doing okay. And just now does the 992 exit the pits, now in fourth place. And now the Artito Racing AMG is holding second place after this pit cycle. The pit strategies are going to be very important here, depending on what things look like. But the SR GAW BMW still has nearly a 3-minute gap to the car behind. So we'll see how much work this AMG is going to need to put in to get those lap times back down. Or not back down, get those lap times, keep them down and a lot faster than the leading car to close the gap down in the remaining hours of the race. I say remaining like it's almost over, but anything can happen in 11 hours. And again, I am trying to find some battles here to spectate as I look at the live timing feeds, though. It seems everyone is happily spaced apart. No one seems to be fighting for any positions at the moment. But such is the nightlife of endurance racing. Once you get super far into the race, you kind of just end up with these really big gaps between everybody, and there's no comfort. But I do see a small GT2 battle potentially in the works. I'm going to try and find these two on track, as they are a few seconds apart. 19th and 20th place in the GT2 category. Oh, sorry, 18th and 19th are contesting, it would seem. We'll be able to find them before anything too surprising happens. 18th place. Gotta find the 19th place car, and here's 19th place. Apparently they're quite close, though. It would seem that the car behind is pitting. Looks like we're going to try again to fix the leaderboard, so apologize. A small pause. As we are trying to work out the leaderboard issue, I do apologize for that. I'm doing my best to work with it. But hopefully we will get a full spectator sport. So as saw in chat, we'll restart the stream computer. I do apologize for that. Hopefully it will solve any of our connection issues. Thank you.